Okay, I'm here this afternoon to have a little bit of a chat with David Thomas, who works in the property side or property services side of Rugby Borough Council. David, firstly, listen, thanks for taking a couple of minutes out of your day today just to have a little bit of a chat to kind of get a little bit of a feel of the working relationship between Rugby Borough Council and Totalmobile and what we're going to be doing together in the future. I suppose before we really get into it, it'd be fantastic if you could give the people who are watching this a little bit of an insight into Rugby Borough Council as a whole and also specifically your role within the local authority.
Yeah, so obviously Rugby Borough Council, I work as the property repairs team leader. We're in charge of 3,700 properties. Obviously the council as a whole serves the borough. Everyone's quite sort of proud of Rugby as well. I'm personally from just outside, but I'm still in Warwickshire, which is the county for Rugby Council as well. Yeah, we've got around 55 staff in our department. We provide services to the local public buildings as well, like the art gallery and the local crematorium. We've got a street scene team that work with us as well. They also work with all the local parish councils as well. So the service that we provide to the borough is really sort of important and very integrated as well. And our residents feel comfortable that they can come and speak to us and rely on the service that we provide.
Yeah, so I suppose like many local authorities, you are providing a wide range of services. And I imagine like many local authorities as well, Rugby Borough Council is experiencing a range of challenges with regards to the delivery of services in this current climate. What would you reflect on some of the main challenges that the council would find itself experiencing at this particular moment?
So obviously I can't speak about the whole of the council,
Of course.
But from the property repairs side of things, for us it's like downtime with operatives, it's material costs, fuel costs. We're really sort of trying to make sure that we're good value for money for our council taxpayers. I know there's other councils across the country which have been struggling, and we're quite lucky that we've had a audit and review recently from they take other council members from across the country, and then they come and do almost like an audit on our council. And from the financial perspective, we were one of the better ones that they'd seen. So we're trying to almost run ourselves like a private company and make sure that we're good value for money for our residents.
Yeah, absolutely. And that whole challenge around the cost of service is something which is common across, not just across the local authorities or the public sector, but across all service providers at the minute, increasing fuel costs, increasing material costs, increasing costs of labor, etc. It is a challenging time. And I suppose it's those challenges and those increasing costs which ultimately led Rugby to look at, okay, well, how can we do things better? How can we transform? So how did you establish necessarily that there was a need within the property services side of the council to look towards technology and innovation to help you transform and deliver better service?
So fortunately for me, I came from the private sector, and where I'd worked previously and where my manager had worked previously, they actually used the Totalmobile system, so we could see the benefits that it would bring, especially with our current system being modified for us, and as it's more like an asset tool that's been modified for us to schedule our repairs and booking our jobs. Unfortunately, though, it's not really fit for purpose. It's not dynamic enough. It's not it's not smart enough and it allows a lot on the user input. So yeah, it was quite an easy decision for us to look at the market, and we did obviously go out and look at because we, as a council and as the public purse, we have to do our due diligence and go out there and see what's the best value for money and what's going to be the best thing for us to provide a good customer service. And that's why we came to I'll be honest, we had other people that we spoke to, but Totalmobile's presentation, their support, and the way that they went about actually getting the information from us of what we actually needed, it was really important to us, and the listening and the communication was such a key factor.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So you reflected on, you obviously had a previous solution. You mentioned yourself, it just wasn't fitting your needs. So you went to market, Totalmobile was the supplier that you selected. And I know you're now currently in the process of working up towards a go live. As we look towards that, can you tell me a little bit about the capabilities and the features that you're looking to implement from Totalmobile? And was there anything really from a solution perspective that stood out for you whenever you were running that process that you mentioned?
Yeah, so currently, like I said, the booking the jobs in, scheduling the jobs in is all done manually. So it relies on a person to almost know the area, try and know about how long a job takes and everything else. And it's a lot to put on someone, especially when you get new members of staff. So the dynamic scheduling side of the system was the biggest thing and the most important thing to us, because it takes a lot of that away from the scheduling teams and it allows us to focus on the customer service side of things. But when we did start looking at that, it was also quite clear that, when we spoke to the contracts officers and the finance team and the surveying team and the voids team and even our street scene, who till recently everything was done on paper, that a whole joint approach was going to be the best option. And obviously Totalmobile with Total Connect in the back office side of things was going to provide all of that, so it brings it all together as one thing. And it's got the reporting, it allows us to sort of monitor productivity better, as well as like I said, making sure that the right person is at the job at the right time with the right tools and the right equipment. So, that's the main thing for us. And again, like you said about the fuel costs earlier, at the moment, the guys can be here, there, and everywhere. Whereas with the dynamic scheduling of Totalmobile, it will decrease the amount of time that the vehicles are spending driving, or even if it doesn't do that, it will increase our productivity by having more visits done in that time.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that you're expecting whenever the system goes live that it is really going to actually transform how you're delivering services and really help you proactively tackle some of those challenges that were mentioned earlier.
Yeah, well, like I say, because we've worked on it before at previous place, and we saw the difference that it made there, and we saw the difference in the reduction in fuel that we were spending. The boots on the ground, the guys who are actually doing the work, we wouldn't have a job without them. And they're the ones who are at the front face, and if their lives are made easier and more productive, it just has a knock-on effect throughout the whole of the experience. Less complaints, happier tenants, happier staff, and just a better experience in total, really.
And absolutely, and I think that is such a key message which you touched upon there. Clearly people invest in technology and innovation to experience, hard organizational benefits, things like productivity, efficiency, cost savings were mentioned, but those frontline users and being able to empower those guys to really kind of make their working lives better, I think is such an important benefit now these days.
Yeah, it certainly is, especially obviously in the past, the management approach was very much just do what I'm asking you. And obviously with mental health and things like that, we want to make sure that our staff are looked after and that they come in, they do their day's work, and they go home at the end of the day happy that they've provided a good service to the people that they're, a lot of the staff that work for us are from the local area, so they're really proud as well of the council and its reputation as well. So we want to have a good reputation in our local borough.
Yeah, absolutely. And taking a proactive approach to how you improve how services are delivered, not just for the tenants, but for the staff themselves, is certainly a way of doing that. I suppose the final question from me, David, is really just about, looking towards the future. So what are you really looking forward to over the next 6-12 months and beyond, because I know certainly at Totalmobile, we very much treat every customer relationship as a strategic partnership, which, kind of grows over time. So, what are you looking forward to, essentially?
Well, I feel like I'm going to bore you with my sort of geekiness, technical details now, but
Not at all.
yeah. So obviously, one of the things that we know about Totalmobile is it is a tool, but it's a tool that depends on the data that you input into it. So, we're already thinking about how we can get our forms on the system so that the guys can do their health and safety, their risk assessments, have access to all the information they need to be able to do their job efficiently and to make sure that they're safe while they're doing it as well. But I know the departments have already spoken to us as well about whether we can do our customer satisfaction surveys on there, which I know that we can do because we've done that at our previous workplace. But just establishing that relationship with Totalmobile and growing, organically growing how that system works for us and how it will help and improve the lives of our staff and our trades and our customers as well, and our tenants.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that attitude or that approach towards continuous improvement and continuous innovation is something that we just love to speak to customers about, and take particular pride in helping them achieve that as well. So as your lights go off there, David, I think that's probably
you can edit that out.
Yeah, that's probably a good time to say this. And thank you very much for spending a couple of minutes this afternoon. I'm sure people will find the story of Rugby Borough Council particularly interesting in this, and we look forward to hearing more about the project and the success that brings in the future as well. So thanks again.
Well, thank you for having me on, and I've really enjoyed it.
Cheers. Thanks, Doc.
Take care. Bye.